Welcome back to rather an awful day. This is the same day as you were here last time. This is episode 9 of Old Ridge Farm. Quite a bit has happened in the short time since you've been away. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and put some muck on field 6, and I'm going to then plough it. That's the organic field, and I'm going to do everything I do on an organic field. I'm going to try and do all that on screen. I'm interested to see how it works. But as I said, I went and bought a new plough because basically need one. That small plough's just a bit too small. But as I was driving back in the shop, I looked around as you do when you drive the tractor. You're not going very fast, and I saw this pole of oily black smoke in the distance. I think the general direction of BP's farm. Don't know what happened. Didn't know at the time what happened there. But also, as I getting closer back to the farm, the phone rang, and it was OEB saying that the brewer who wants the organic barley would like to have a word, and he was just in the churchyard. His parents apparently are buried there. So I followed him round, and well, that's a good bit of cornering. Followed him round to have a chin wag. He came around about 10 minutes later. He's a nice chap. Now, where's the way into this field? I think it's up. Here we are. He was a nice chap. He was in his 40s. Apparently he'd worked in the City of London on some sort of financial institution, making tons of money. And I mean tons. He was saying that he bought he bought an old brewery building. All the equipment was still there, but hadn't been used for years. Was his last bonus. Let's just get GPS up. Let's just do this. As I do, make certain there's no offset. I think we want to move over a bit. Just get the edge of the field. And we talked about what he was looking for. It was quite straightforward. All he really wanted for his first brew was organic. He was just going to do some ordinary lager. So nitrogen levels weren't as important. You may not believe this, those of you who drink lager and spend the earth on it, but lager is actually made with the cheapest ingredients. Put that on. Alright. Well, it was the cheapest ingredients, so the nitrogen levels are not important. If you were doing something like bitter, you need very good materials. Very good. But lager, I'm glad I'm doing this myself. I can't blame Crazy Paul. I'll rename my Crazy Pete to Crazy Paul. I don't think it's quite right. I should use I'm not close enough to it. That's it. I don't think it's right. I should use the same name as David's famous hand. Yes, anyway, he was saying that if this works out okay, he will put in more orders. He's got several of them about in the brewing industry, making bespoke beers. That he think he could mostly make it worth my while. So I'm actually considering now keeping both 5 and 6 down for organic as I cut the fields, and frankly I don't want to wait 7 years to sort out one of my other fields for organic. To keep those as I say for organic, so I'll be I would just find my way back to that again. You didn't expect professionalism, I hope. There we are. That's the one I was meant to press. Now we press that one. Yeah, so I'm thinking about keeping those as two as organic, and I'll probably have a look at number 3 for the orchard. The orchard's going to be put back another year by the looks of it. It's just going to be too busy this year. Seem to get that going. Let's just back this up. I'm not used to using the case. As you might probably notice, I tend to draw the JCB. It's my personal choice. Oh yes, top of the JCB. Just before I set off to the pub for my dinner, one of my neighbours came past, and he was laughing. I asked him why, and he said the new guy, apparently his name is Cuthbert Smythe, of all things, had turned the JCB over. Boy, I felt good. Anyway, I went down to the pub for dinner. In there was BP. He looked a little bit shocked. And he was telling me that the smoke and the oil I'd seen was actually his combine, his new to him combine going up in flames. So he's no combine less, not a lot of spare cash, so I offered again to let him use the other class if he wants it. So it's entirely up to him, but it's there if he wants it. Just turn this off again. Oh, missed a bit up here. Yes, anyway, I was going to talk too about barley. I threatened this some time ago. One thing I know about, as I spent almost 35 years in the malting trade, and one of the things we dealt with there was barley. Our main ingredient is barley. Now, Britain, and I can only really speak for Britain, the rest of the world might well be different. But in Britain, barley is only really used for two things. One is to make malt, and that's where all the best barley goes, and the other is for animal feed. I think I might probably get away with it. Let's have a look, see how it looks. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I think there's a little bit we haven't done, but not enough to worry about. Find a way out. Yeah, barley is used for brewery. Now the best barley is low nitrogen barley for stuff like bitter, best bitter beer. Bitter is also known, if it's bottled, as India Pale Ale. Let's just take this back. Can't remember if I still got the beacon on. Let's just have a look. Yeah, I've got the beacons. Alright, it's used for bitter, and barley is, or malted barley is graded into several different grades, and it's done on what they call P numbers. Not too certain what the different P numbers are, and I'm going completely the wrong direction. I'm just going to turn around in here. It's not our field, so I'm not going to worry too much about running over it before no one catches me. Go back this way. Yeah, P1 is the best, and that's really around 1.3% nitrogen. 214. P2 is around 1.4 to 1.5. P3 1.4 to 1.5. P4 1.5 to 1.6. And P8 is really is anything above 1.7. Takes it from 1.6 to 1.7. The better or the lower the nitrogen, the better the barley is. One of the problems breweries have with high nitrogen barley is high nitrogen also means it's high protein. It tends to cloud up the beer and have to spend then a lot of money trying to clear it. So they prefer it so it doesn't cloud up, so it can just sell it quicker. And there's my new plough. I'm going to drop this back in here, hook up to the plough and go and plough that field. I'm going to hop out because I can't see where we're going. Alright, that's better. It would be if I went straight. This one's got the wheels right to the back of the trailer, and that's a little bit beggar persuaded to go where I wanted to go, not where that wants to go. Alright, I think we're going to be back in there, alright. You see, I'm getting a proper little area here now. I also just put in a wash. Because the gear here is going to want to be washed. And it's one other thing. Just think about going back to our organic barley. I'm going to have to get a separate seed, and I won't use my homemade seeds in the Seed Master. I can't guarantee they are organic. Everything has to be guaranteed organic, so I'm going to have to actually buy organic seeds. Yes, and I was on about barley. Say the malting barley is the side I know best. The way to make malt is very, very simple. Very simple indeed. It's usually just natural things. If you split a barley kernel along the furrow, which is called the ventral furrow, you will find inside most of it will be white, very hard. That's what's known as the endosperm. That is the food store for the embryo grind. We've done the next one. That's the food store for the embryo grind. And down one side you will see the germ. When the grind grows, starts to grow, is that the one? Yes, I've just gone past it again. Well done. I can hear BP laughing at my terrible drive, so let's back this up. Yeah, when it starts to grow, or just before it starts to grow, it releases enzymes. Oh no, it isn't the way in. Oh dear. There we are, it's a way in there. Yeah, it releases enzymes into these endosperm, and that, I'm going to do this a simple one. I'm just going to go around the outside first, then go up and down a few times. I think I have to do a couple of three around the outsides. I can't remember if I've done fold this lower plough. Doesn't look like it. Let's come outside so I can actually see what I'm doing. Pull it back. Drop it in. Now I'm probably ploughing this the wrong way. I'm not the world's best at this. Yes, it releases enzymes which change the starch. Possibly I should have I think I'm going to swap over the JCB. This is not man enough. I'm going to just drop the plough off here and go and get the JCB quickly. I use this one because it's a bit more manure, a bit smaller, but yeah, so anyway, back to what I was rambling on about, which is just outside the farm here anyway, so this isn't too bad. It releases the enzymes, changes the starch into sugars, a form of sugar. And it's the sugar what feeds the growing grain until it gets its rootlets out and its shoot out. For malting, you want you actually want to convert the starch to sugar, the maximum you get for the best beers, and that's just what's known in the trade as modification. And the whole process, I'll go through the whole process, that's quicker and easier. You first of all get your grain, your barley, after cleaning it and weighing the amount you're going to use, and you put that into underwater for something like 20 hours. After 20 hours, water's drained away, and the whole thing is then drained. So it's drained and it's pumped. Air is pumped through it. The grain will actually die if it can't breathe. Believe it or not, grain does like to breathe. I always forget where the entrance are, because I'm having fun with the combine. I can see. Right, let's get this done. After you dried it a bit and pumped air through for about another 20 hours, you then put it underwater again for another 20. By the time it's drained off after the second soaking, it's very plump, very soft, and actually the starch should have started to convert by now. Let's see if we can do this in the cab. Should have started to convert by now. So you're now changing the starches into sugar. The perfect, I'm talking for the best beers, bitter, the top quality bitter beers. It's at its best when the shoot is about half to 2/3 up the back of the grain. It means that the maximum amount of starch has been converted with the minimum amount of growth. You don't want much growth because the growth takes the sugars away. Right, you're with me so far. At this stage, you then have to kill it. And the easiest way to kill it is to cook it. Because you also want to add a certain amount of colour into the malt. By now it's green malt. It's no longer barley, it's now known as green malt. Green malt is this intermediate stage between barley and full malt. Well, we have got our grain, our malt now nicely converted, modified. We're now going to cook it. We do that in a kiln at high temperatures. You start with fairly low temperatures and build the temperature up to dry out, and also to put some colour and flavour, extra flavours into the malt from the heat. The hotter you go, if you go too hot early on, you'll make very dark malt. Not much good for bitter. Bitter is quite a pale drink. It's pale as lager, or not quite as pale as lager, but it's a very pale drink. The darker stuff is, and I've gone round once, just wake up at the back. Just go round it. There. Your next stage is to actually cook it and get colour in there. As I say, you do that quite simply by just heating it up, drying it out, and at the height the grain will be somewhere 40-50% moisture at the top level, and by the time you finish cooking it you'll be down to 2 or 3% moisture. And you should always store barley, if possible, around anywhere between 11 and 13% moisture, no more and not too much less. You don't want to kill it. Excess moisture will cause the grain to go rotten. Not enough moisture will cause it to dry it too much and just die. And dead malt is no good to man the beast. I think we soon better start going up and down. I think it might make matters slightly easier. Which ways? Oh, we'll get up to the end and we'll try anyway. I think I better do another headland first. Oh, missed a bit here. Now we get over onto this bit. Should really be looking behind, see what we can do behind. Oh, that looks alright. Right, that's almost the finished malt. For dispatch to the brewery, you then blend different malts together to get the spec the brewery wants, the head brewer wants. The head brewer is traditionally in charge of the malt coming into the brewery, and he says what he wants. It's not the manager, it's not the man in the office, it's the head brewer. He's the one who knows what's doing, and a good head brewer is worth his weight in gold. He can take, clear this bit here, he can take second-rate malt and make it into a good brew. A bad head brewer will take top quality malt and make it into a second-rate brew. A lot of the big modern factory malt beers, they've forgot about doing all that, and they just they just don't worry so much now. Let's just lift this up so we can start going up and down now. Let's get this back. I think it might still be a little bit too close to the trees, but we'll give it a try, and I think I shall. Now, which one turns it? Turns it. I never know which way I meant to be doing. I think I've got it the wrong way there. I think let's try that anyway. But I'm just going to switch on GPS again. Get rid of that. Work whip. Knock it down to 3.5. What I found was that the work whip that they give in the shop is actually wrong. It's wider than they say, a lot wider. Oh, we don't want to. I'm not going to do an offset. We should do an offset, but I'm not going to. Right, that's good. Right, I was on about the head brewer's worth of weight. He tells the maltster what he's looking for, and it's up to the maltster to make whatever it is he's looking for. I think we've gone a little bit too fast. I'm just going to slow that down, that's better. Slow down to about 6 miles an hour, that should do it. Right, so you blend them malts together, you clean them, you sieve them, you clean them, and you normally nowadays you put them into a bulk bin to be shipped out by lorry, or in some cases train or even ship, but you don't do much bag stuff anymore. Is anybody just do that turn? Anybody that ever dealt with bagged malt will be grateful of. especially when I started in the trade, we were still using 100 weight and a half sacks, and they are flaming heavy. There we go. I'm not going to say that's work. Yes, I've got that the wrong way around. Still the rest of it will hopefully cultivate. And that's basically the story of what malt is. And quite often if I say what I used to do when I worked, I get this strange look. Like, what the hell you're on about? Come to think if I get that strange look most of the time, I think it's just me. Try and turn this around here. I think I should have went another load. No, but I wouldn't want to trust this with Crazy Pete. I'll make a hash up enough of it without Crazy Pete having it. Let's try this now. I haven't turned it this time, so I hope I got it about right. Ah, there we go. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, what else has been happening around here anyway, apart from BP losing his combine? I did get word back from the northeast, where one of the people who used to live close to this area has moved up to its farming, and that was Sean Baylock, who apparently has just put himself massively in debt. I hope he knows what he's doing. I shouldn't have done, but we're going to. Right, let's get this onto there. Oh, I think by accident we might be getting some there. The bits we miss we cultivate, you know. Right, I think the rest of this episode will be me mainly going up and down here. Shouldn't take long, it's only a small build. The other one's 6. I should probably put some alfalfa in there and just green manure. If I come on to do some good low nitrogen barley here, I'm going to have to watch that a bit, because the yield is going to be horrific. As I was saying in the last episode, all I'm going to be able to use on this is muck, slurry, lime and water. But pH is alright now, we've got good nutrients already. And with this weather, I'm not certain this weather will actually affect the soil. There's some doubts about that, and I can't remember what Deck has said now. I think it's only rain that affects the soil. It's a pity, but at the moment, it's still very much work in progress, the soil mod. May even convert, may even bind these two fields into one, but think about it, I don't think I want to crop every year on the field every year. I'm going to want to rest it every other year. I think all I'm doing at the moment, I'm only doing about half the row. Never mind. Oh, and I've not only did I spend on this new play, but I've also got myself a new wagon for animal to move the animal feed about, because I find in those little marshalls the amount of animals they're eating at the moment just aren't big enough anymore. Far from it. I've got to get down. If I've got time after I've done this, I should do, which I should do off screen, and just see if I can get some more feed into them. But I've also got to have a look at my meadow and we'll probably fertilise it. Luckily I haven't got, not worried about organic on that. I've been toying with the idea of trying to go organic, but see how these fields go first. But I shall certainly keep 2 fields organic. And I've got to look to, as well as we've got the money to look to buy another field. I think 3 is a possibility. I want to see which side the I'll see what side the entrance is on. Hopefully that's on the side closest to the garden centre. Should be cheaper for me to transport the fruit. And the fruit I should just specialise in apples and pears. I should drop the cherries and plums. Alright, let's see everything. Not exactly what you call a well-ploughed field, but turn that off, lift that, turn that. So I have to talk to myself all the time. So I tell my wife I know that I'm talking to someone sensible. She gives me a funny look for some reason. Never wrong to talk to yourself is when you start arguing with yourself you've got problems. How we doing? Oh, we're way over halfway now. And I wondered whether the case would actually pull this plate. You can pull up using cores or using crazy pull, but it won't pull it very well if you're doing it yourself. Because the crazy pull is correct all the time. Come on, round, and again. No one. I won't do that. Shouldn't be too much wrong with this field anyway, so. What I missed us our cultivate, toying with the idea whether I need to lime it and cultivate. It's neutral at the moment, but what I can do is get the pH right, so I see what she looks like in the morning. So what I should do on this first time round on this field, as I said, I will try and do everything on screen. So you can see all the mistakes I make, and boy will there be some. Oh, missed it. I think I better just go up there and just do this bit I missed here. Some of the one part I missed. And this is getting rid of the weeds. The weeds are going to be the big problem. So I can't use any herbicides at all. But then, so I'm going to have to hope that they don't get too bad. Up to the wheel, it's 5 and 6 don't go to 1 and 7. Look where my fields are. Come out the edge. Turn this. Round. That's it. Move to there. Oh, I think we've actually done this, but we just missed that end. Never mind. We've got 3 or 4 more passes and I think we're done. Right, well, I think I shall ramble on a bit more about barley in a further episode. A little bit more. Bring the beer on that. Actually, the process of making beer is quite interesting too. I'm one of these sad people who, wherever I work, I have to find everything about what the company I'm working for does and what their processes are. Sad, really. I didn't get a turn that, did I? There we go. And some of my fields, I think I should be subsoil at some point, or every so often. Because compaction is going to be an issue, especially the way I drive over them without really taking care. Although this field, once it's planted, should be driven far less than the other, except for put some water down, if necessary. It's going to be fun. There's a tree. I might be debranching it. I decided I'm not chopping down any more trees. I'll just debranch where necessary. Shouldn't have turned it. Oh, I should have went one more out. They're doing every second one, but catch them on the way back. I think what I can see is that some of it's not very well done, but I think I'm going to leave well alone and the rest of it. Just catch this bit here. I should catch it there, I think. So I'm just talking to myself again. So we've now had an exciting time around the parish. The Crawford Browns have been quite quiet just lately, but Mr. Cuthbert Smythe, I think, could be a bit of luck. Oh yes, before I forget, he's been trying to get more workers. Apparently, they join him. They don't have to work with him for a day. They don't want to know him anymore. He's had 5 farm workers he's employed so far, and the longest one has lasted 3 days. Not good going. I'd like to keep the same staff all the time. I've only really got Crazy Paul and Alcoholic Charles working for me, They're good lads, bit wild, but hello. Alcoholic Charles is looking for somewhere to live. He's just been given notice on his place. I think it was too much his wages have been going towards alcohol. And I think it's part of the problem. But I've got that house near the feed store, which isn't being used by anybody, and it might be an idea if he takes that over. Yeah, do need to turn that. So I think I might just offer him that to see if he wants it. If he wants it, keep that occupied and also keep an eye that no one nicks any of the feed, which is going to become more and more important with the amount that their animals are eating now. I think we're almost done. You know, come out of character slightly. I want to get this done. This is Saturday afternoon. I want to get this done. Good time to at least try and catch the end of BP's live stream. Whoa, it's just should take this back. That's it. Try and catch this bit here. Yeah, because the BP should be streaming, so as I usually have tea while she's streaming. So it tends to miss most of the stream, but try and catch up with him, normally with his favourite moderator, which is Farmer Beavers. Tie this up a little bit. Realise when you're doing this by hand just how good course play is. It may miss big bits, but compared to how I can play, it does a wonderful job. I missed a long strip here somewhere. I think that will do for playing this. I shall now finish up. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing, those that have. If you haven't, it would be nice. Any comments, please feel free. But just be kind. And I will see you next time. During the week there should be another old Westbridge Forest episode, and there'll be another one of these coming up next week. Cheerio for now.